My people, them they win. High tech, they flow like stream. Enough we go down. Now only young we know. All my people gather round. Make we show them how we grow. High tech, na juju money. Juju money. Price they rise infinitely. My God, dash us this blessing. This blessing. Digital money no go rest, oh. No rest. Sharp pattern they confirm. Every trader they affirm. All time high no be ceiling. Market makers them they feeling. My brother check the stats. Numbers climbing like that. New record every day. High tech show them the way. Enough it go down. Now only up we know. All my people gather around. Make we show them how we grow. High tech na juju money. Juju money. Price they rise infinitely.
Okay, there was a little bit of a problem with the microphone, but as you see, it's back. All right, I think we can start. So, my name is Hightech, of course. I'm the creator of Hightech meme coin on Solana. This is a Solana meme coin. Here is the mint address. And on these live streams, I talk, of course, about what just happened today, recent days actually, in the cryptocurrency market, what I think about it, and I comment on Hightech too, of course. Let me quickly check if everything is in order here before I switch to my main screen. Here it is, and let's go. Let's go. Let me quickly allow me to confirm if indeed everything is working well with the sound. I think, before I start talking for 1 hour straight, it's reasonable to check that I'm not talking to myself. That will be a totally lost time, of course. Okay, it is. So, guys, if you have any questions, naturally write me in the live chat. I will see it here, and I will gladly respond to whatever questions you may have. I, of course, as any live streamer, I love when there is audience or public participation in the live stream. Hopefully this time is good for many time zones, the European ones, African ones, and American ones. We'll see. So as you see, on altcoins, a lot of green. Some altcoins are pumping nicely. You actually have to stare at it for a while in order to spot the red ones, like for example T, Raven, Fun, and even when you notice them, what you can tell is those losses there are not really that tragic, right? The biggest loss on this exchange, because here we are having marked Binance, of course, is on Ravencoin, and that's minus 8.6%, which, let's be honest, this is nothing tragic in terms of crypto. So well done the altcoin market today. Hopefully it stays like this. And to be honest, I've been, last time I was live streaming, I think I was warning you guys that we may revisit the vicinity of 100k because of how this daily candle here looked back then. But at the end of the day, as you see, it has closed. I mean, it closed much better than when I was looking at it while I was live streaming. And on my Polish live stream, I commented on my Polish YouTube channel. I commented that because I I was indicating literally the same, that we may see a revisitation of this low, or we may even go slightly lower. So I was giving it a little bit higher probability of happening than not, and as you see, so far it has not happened. And I actually changed my mind after I saw this daily candle closing like this, and I said, back then I said, you know what, maybe we will not go as low, maybe we'll see a recovery much earlier. And the following day, as you see, was green, so it may be even more optimistic. And as you see today, we are pushing up, right? So I've been warning you guys, do not speculate on this thing going down. That the title of today's live stream is Rocket on a Rocket, because in a certain part of the world there is quite a lot of rockets flying around. Because of that, people could feel a little bit uncertain when it comes to global finance. And I think this is literally, in this setup we are having right now, is literally, you should have the opposite of the sentiment of majority, mainly because of lack of liquidity. Lack of liquidity means big players will try to create liquidity. The most efficient tool for that is to rise prices across the board, make everything expensive. There is very little resistance in order books for doing that, to do so. So there is a very little cost they have to carry to exercise a plan like that. So that is why they don't mind if one or two average Joes benefit on the way, because participation in this market is very, very low, so it still makes the cost also very low. So that is why market mechanics, as I tend to say, clearly it is indicating for quite a while the only direction from here is upwards. That does not mean we will be moving under 45 degree angle towards the upside. That never happens. Of course, there is always some volatility on the way up, and that one is something that we should always expect. Same is the case this time, but if you're aiming for drops of -20, -30%, -40%, as some of the crypto influencers are forecasting, that is not going to happen. Because again, the big players, they hate to sell with huge spreads. They will make sure they will pay upfront for those spreads to shrink, and now the only way they can do it is through making this market more attractive, more appealing to the average investor, to average individual investor. So they simply will be drawing the prices higher and higher, and that is how they will have the eyes of the public, of the general public. At some point, of course, nobody really knows when that will happen. They will be navigating it at lowest cost possible, higher and higher. At some point it will just kick in, right? They of course can have their own estimation when that could possibly get triggered, but at the end of the day, it happens when it happens, right? We can very well go to 150k on Bitcoin and then get a vast attention of general public. It can very well happen, I don't know, after we cross 115, 120,000, nobody really knows. Me, myself, I'm not concentrating on the Bitcoin market, of course. I'm much more engaged in the altcoin market. That's why I pay much more attention to what is going on the other chart. And here the daily also looks promising, because we fell below $245 billion level, which I consider an important one. And now we are going back above it. We are right now back into this very thin zone in between 245 250 billion dollars on our way on our way up to probably, surely surely just get back above it and finally abandon it, at least for a reasonable amount of time. And I have literally zero doubt in my mind we are going to take out this cycle high. This cycle, of course. Zero doubt, absolutely zero doubt. I think towards the end of this year, and even end of the summer, towards the end of the summer, we will be higher than this year. Mark my words. I know right now it may sound a little bit off, but I think I have orientation good enough to make a bold statement as this one. Like I said, especially in this environment, in this setup, in this market setup, these market conditions, these geopolitical conditions, when we all know the United States, the government of United States are going to print a lot of dollars right now because situation in the Middle East is heating up. They are financing a certain small country that is there, and yeah, the only way they can do it is actually with increased printing, and that will, of course, that capital will be injected in the military sector, and from there it will pour over to the rest of the economy, right? In the economy, it doesn't really matter from which side the money is injected. It just flows onto other sectors down the line and down the road, and at the end of the day, everyone gets that cash, right? Because those military corporations, they have normal people working there. Those normal people have normal needs, use normal services. When they get more cash, they have a little bit lighter hand to spend it. I don't know, to tip more and stuff, and that makes the whole economy receiving that additional liquidity, and that's of course very positive for risk on assets. Crypto, if you have not known this, belongs to that category, so that is why we will benefit from it as well. So given that we've been resting on a very strong zone of support, and the first quarter we've seen a very strong prolonged sell-off, that means highly likely those that are remaining in this market belong to something we could call the category of people we could call strong hands. And those guys, I mean, among strong hands there is also stronger and weaker hands. So that's why we have this volatility here still, even though we've been selling off for quite a while. Some of the weak hands sometimes they rejoin the market thinking that this is the absolute bottom, while later on it turns out it wasn't the absolute bottom, and they get scared again that the thing that happened in the first quarter will happen to them again, so they sell. They do not really understand the nature of this market. They do not have any plan. They do not have any strategy, and in the midst of it, they also contribute to a little bit greater volatility, even if we are already very, very oversold, right? There's very, very little, relatively speaking, there is a very small number of people willing to actually sell at those prices. So yeah, it's just you cannot remove volatility from these markets, because we are talking about a space where there is, full of small capitalizations, right? So to inject liquidity there is very inject volatility there is very easy. Same with liquidity with let's say significant liquidity for those respective markets. But that's a setup for a pump. Generally speaking, that's a setup for a pump. The risk here is 1/10 of what it used to be, I don't know, 6 months ago. Win-lose ratio is absolutely amazing at these levels. And I'm saying it for long weeks already, right? I keep repeating it since we were here. And as you see, right now we are much, much higher. This is of course the weekly candle. On the weekly as well, I like a lot how this weekly candle is shaping right now, even though today is of course Monday. Let's take a look how S&P is going to open. Let's take a look at SPY, which mirrors S&P very closely. I'm not sure if we are going to even trade today. Maybe there is. Hold a second. Are we even open? Oh, okay. We opened. We already opened. To be honest, I didn't even know that. Okay, because we started at 13:30, which is 1:30 p.m. So yeah, we've been trading for almost 1 hour so far. And as you see, we have opened much higher, and we are pumping, right, on S&P. SPY, S&P. This is literally what I was expecting today. Literally what I was expecting. I said, the thing that is going on in the Middle East now is shaking up, the reality. But within few days, literally few days, people will remember that. This is not the first time those guys keep throwing at each other for decades already, and habituation will kick in. Habituation is a process of softening of any kind of stimulus. So over time, of course, the longer you are exposed to certain stimulus, the weaker it becomes, and at some point it just stops working on you, stops affecting you at all. And I said, because of that, I said things are going to get back to normal. Overall trend is up, right? We are in an upward trend, in the uptrend, meaning that since all of this, shake-up has happened because of an events they do not have the power to turn the boats. And I'm saying it for quite a long time on this channel. Single events do not have the power to return the boats, right? So it all depends from the trend itself. If the uptrend is standing on its last legs, is weakening, then event happens, then market returns. It's not because of the event, it's because the uptrend was already exhausted and it needed a very, very small push to come to an end. That's it. In this case, we definitely have a little bit of a room left towards the upside, judging purely by the chart. When we include the fundamentals that United States are going to be printing like crazy, probably this is going to last at least until end of summer, like I've been saying. So that of course favorites our industry too, risk on assets. I don't think this is the time to sell. I think if you are selling right now, I don't know, your altcoins, your Bitcoin, your Ethereum, whatever, you're committing a huge mistake, and you're actually selling it at cheap. Because since we are measuring all of this in US dollar, and the US dollar is about to depreciate quite a bit, it's even very, very difficult to estimate how deep that depreciation is going to be. It can exceed by far whatever we can imagine. So of course that will drive those prices measured in US dollar very, very high. So like I said, I don't think this is a good idea to sell it now. But who knows, maybe I'm wrong. Remember, I do not trade based on what I think I see in the charts. I trade with my own trading system, which is called TFI, Trade for Impact. I was advertising it here before I launched my own meme coin called Hightech. Of course, right now I promote my meme coin, as you already heard at the beginning of this live stream. This is what I recommend now. This is of course as well indirect exposure to my trading systems. Whenever my trades are closed, I reinject that capital here, that liquidity here. So that's one of the, let's say, fundamentals here, hard values here. Another one is that my social media is still very, very small. It has a lot of room for growth. So, and it keeps growing. You know, I keep grinding. I'm a grinder. I never give up my projects. I grind them until things are good, until everything works. Until everything works fine. That is another strong fundamental of this coin at this point. And the third one is that I'm a programmer and I'll be giving it a very useful smart contracts in the future. But first it needs to get a little bit more size. It needs much more liquidity. It needs much more participants, because otherwise it will be very disadvantageous for me to make those smart contracts. Right now they could be very easily stolen, and my project would not benefit from it. So yeah, so this is a very early stage of this coin, super early. It has grown from $1 to nearly $150 in a very short time. Right now it has a period of a correction. I think this is a very good opportunity to allocate into it before a high interest kicks into the cryptosphere again. And people will be buying literally everything, right? Literally everything, throwing money left and right at my coin too, since, you know, I'm an influencer in the package with this coin, right? So the meme coin search term, as you see, is super low. 12. It's one of the lowest reads here, if not the lowest. No, okay, there's one lower, only one lower throughout past 12 months, meaning that again you should be buying things, you should be collecting coins, accumulating coins when the interest is low, not when the interest is high. Meme coin and meme coins, both of these terms I think right now are the best ones to recognize where the sentiment lays. Here we have last week was 14, today I mean this week is 13, and 13 is the lowest here on this one. Yeah, it's the lowest. So there you go. We're literally at the lowest level. No, sorry, there's one lower. Okay, so one of the two lowest levels throughout past 12 months, right? I would not count on it going any lower. I think that's just asking for too much. Whatever you are thinking about allocating into, get yourself a little bit of that. Don't make it one thing, because one thing can always fail. Like just yesterday, there was a crash of some coin. What's the name of it? Let me see. I had it even somewhere here. I should have it somewhere. ZKJ? Was it? I think so. Yeah, it was this one. And yesterday on my live stream, I was showing how long before it happened my algorithm knew it was going to happen. Take a look here. There was a fake out. That costed less than 2% this fake out, and shortly after, look what happened. From the exit on my algorithm until today, minus 81%. Yeah, that is why you should invest in high tech, because the capital I get from high tech, I put it on my system, and it works same as good to the upside as to the downside. So for example, in this case, it has, whenever I get a buy signal here, accumulation is going to be, the profit in this coin is going to be absurd, right? That's like plus 400% when we count it to this coin. Same as good it works in detecting the pumps, right? If we inverted this one, if this was going to be, if this were going to be a buy signal, it would look literally like this, right? So of course at this point, that would be like how many percent? Okay, this is going to be, this is still going to show us the minus, not plus. Yeah, that would be like 400% more or less of profit. So that means there will be at least 2 doubles taken here, and that doubles could be rotated into high tech liquidity. So the sooner you understand what I'm talking about, the better for yourself. and then calculating, of course, the effect of my social media work, and how early this coin is. It has only 50 hodlers so far. You know, the average coin that you will see, for example, on Dex Screener here in this ad bar, has thousands of hodlers, literally thousands. Mine has 52, but two addresses are mine. So it means there is only 50 hodlers, literally nothing. So you can actually, it's very difficult. It's very difficult to detect a good project this early. And here I'm serving it to you on a golden tray. If you are going to ignore it, well, don't forget I was warning you. Okay, let me take a look how Bitcoin dominance is doing. I think it is doing what I was expecting it to do. Yeah, as you see, it's dropping. It's supposed to be dropping. I said this pump here is going to be a fake out. I don't know if you remember, if you watched my previous live streams. I said this pump here, which was caused because of the situation in the Middle East heating up. I said this is going to be a fake out. Don't bet on it big. This is going to betray you bad. It will stab you in the back. We suppose because actually when that bombarding happened, it was here, right? So it was around Wednesday, 11th. And as you see here, we had a strong recovery of Bitcoin dominance, but it was upon very emotional situation. You know, fundamentally speaking, nothing has changed in the market. Like I said, people will calm down fairly quickly. They will sober up from that situation. They will remember that this is not the first time it has happened. Of course, it has a huge potential of escalating into something far greater, but let's be honest. If you don't see missiles flying over your own head, it doesn't really matter what happens, I don't know, 6,000 kilometers away from you, right? After a couple of days, you will just go back to normal, right? Because your own reality will not be changed that much. At least not for I don't know, foreseeable future. You know, before those effects will reach, I don't know, United States, for example. That is why to react to it like it happened here, it from the average Joe perspective, it made no sense. It was probably highly likely, I give it like 99% of probability. It was literally a move made by market makers to try to shake out more of average Joe's, average James wins. That's my new saying right now. Instead of average Joe's, I say average James wins. Why? Why? Because that guy here, he has lost a lot of money. Later, he started to transition into completely different things, like I don't know, crypto news or promoting, I don't know, promoting meme coins and stuff. He's probably an entity. He's highly likely not a person, not an individual. It's probably some sort of an entity, a completely artificial creation. Well, who knows? But maybe not. Maybe I'm wrong. I get the impression it is because you know, shortly after it supposedly he got liquidated, he received like $3 million in donations. A little bit too much, in my opinion. A little bit too fast, a little bit too much. So yeah, so yeah, I expect this Bitcoin dominance here to finally start collapsing, and I think it's the highest time to take out this low here and all of the story and show Bitcoin maxis how free market really works. Because if somebody thinks that Bitcoin is going back to 99% of dominance, or even I don't know, 90% of dominance, I think they have very poor understanding of free market capitalism. And I think to say that crypto functions in free market capitalism environment is as close to reality as possible, as close to truth as 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 feasible. Okay, what else can I look at? Let's take a look at gold. PAXG USDT. PAXG is tokenized gold. This one is having a slight of a rollover too. It actually spiked up quite a bit, as you see, a few days ago. And let's see if we are going to take out the low of this daily, right? Of this one. If we do, then probably gold is going to see a further correction. Well, why? Because that will be shaking up the confidence in gold at this point, in my eyes. Even though this one, I don't think this one reflects one-to-one what is going on the real gold stocks. But yeah, judging by what I see on this specific chart, if this one were to carry the most significance, that would be my judgment of it. And yeah, we'll see. When they print USD banknotes like there is no tomorrow, everything should soar. Everything should fly into the sky. Simply because of depreciation of US dollar, not because of appreciation of certain assets. But even in those conditions, people can get confused at the beginning, and they can be offloading. But the big players then can be offloading certain assets, rotating that capital into some more volatile assets, because in injecting liquidity conditions, those more volatile will going to rise higher and stronger. So that move is not really is not without a good reason, to be honest. At least as far as I understand things. Okay, let's take a look at the chat here. Don't forget, guys, you can write me in the live chat. I will be seeing it here, and of course I'll try to respond to you guys to the best of my abilities. Let's see, maybe on my X profile what has been going on here. Somebody give me a like. Share, like, and subscribe, of course, guys. Share, like, and subscribe if you haven't done so. My YouTube channel is going to grow quite big with the sheer power of insisting sheer power of consequence, right? Of consequence. I'm a very consequent individual. I'm very constant in what I do. I'm a grinder, right? I'm a grinder. So I'll be live streaming here. I'll be running this YouTube channel as long I mean I will do what it takes to get it to quite high numbers in terms of subscribers. I'll definitely not give it up. It means it's just a matter of time before it gets a considerable amount of subscribers, and that means it will translate to high prices on my meme coin. So like I said, you allocating whatever into this one here, you are very early, meaning that they are going to be rewarded over time. What's this about currently?
Booster coming in.
This one I don't think is very important to us right now. I'm trying to think if there is any more charts we could look at. Okay, maybe USD. I just remembered I have some bookmarks. So okay, we are getting rejected from 488% level. That's good. That's very good, because as you see, it played quite a significant role. Historically, there was quite a lot of things going on around it, quite a lot of price action around it. So yeah, we want it to dwarf it and send it lower to vicinity of 4%. Hopefully that will happen sometime soon. I think it will happen. So another chart that is favoriting growth. PUBG against BTC. Let's take a look how this one is looking, because this one I think is the most confusing chart right now, because this is gold measured in Bitcoin, and it looks slightly, right now, of course, not to the same extent as a couple of days ago, but it looks slightly as if gold has bottomed here. You see what I'm talking about? But I have it. It gives me a hard time to believe that is the case. You know, in the reality in which they are going to print US dollars like crazy, that definitely is going to happen. It is highly likely it will start this very month. So I expect this chart to keep collapsing, right? Because Bitcoin has much easier to score growth than gold. It's 1/10 of capitalization of gold. So it will be to me it will be something really weird if gold indeed bottoms out here, goes flying from those levels. Bitcoin does nothing or even corrects with so low liquidity, at this stage. It makes literally zero sense to me. I expect that's why I cannot go with any other scenario right now, like this thing going lower. This thing going lower, and it will have to search for, in my eyes, it will have to search for its bottom. So somewhere there, somewhere much deeper. Even though, like I said, I see it, I definitely see that this could be the bottom for gold against Bitcoin. So that is not a good sign for Bitcoin, because that means in the best case scenario, Bitcoin stays where it is. But when we look at the whole crypto market, and we remember that other chart so far has been resembling investor sentiment best, it other side also looks like it has bottomed out. It has enough. It already had enough, and it's time to move up. So that that is not a good match for what we can observe on the Bitcoin chart, right? I mean, for Bitcoin falling from where it sits at currently. So I cannot lean any other way right now other than crypto going up. Crypto going up, this thing going down. Because wherever I look, whichever direction I look at, not counting this, favorites crypto. Favorites crypto growth. This is the only chart that looks dangerous, that looks threatening to the crypto sector. Nothing else. Nothing else. So it's just not enough. I think if I see so much evidence elsewhere that we are going up, and only one place here, right, this chart, that we are going down, I cannot bet on this one single thing. It would be very silly, right? So that is why I rather will be encouraging you to allocate into your favorite coins at those levels that you can find them right now. Do not go all in. Never go all in. If somebody tells you that they go all in, they are very stupid, because price can always go a little bit lower. Those markets are very, very volatile. So you always should guarantee yourself a position of power and comfort of being able to pick up those coins at even lower prices if you know, Matrix gives you the opportunity to do so. The same as with my meme coin. Do not go all, even if you, I don't know, come to conclusion that this is an absolutely amazing opportunity and you should go all in. Do not go all in, I'm telling you. Get yourself a little bit. If the price goes lower, get yourself a little bit of it too, at cheaper price. Always grant yourself a position of power, a position in which you can add it to your portfolio at lower prices. But right now, overall, again, when I look at the whole situation of the crypto market, I think this is where you should start thinking about increasing your holdings. It looks very, very good in my opinion. With the current daily, which again confirms what I thought throughout the weekend, that people are going to calm down, or let's say market makers will stop shaking things up. They will come back to drawing higher prices. Those very, very few average Joes that have remained in the market, they will also, you know, cool down, cool off, and start to allocate into this market back again. This daily candle right now confirms it. And as you see, we are sitting on a thick zone of support. All of this zone here is a very, very thick, dense zone, and we are in the upper part of it, meaning that we have the lift, right? That density is holding us. Okay, let's take a look at X. What is going on X today? And let's go over to my bookmarks, because there's quite few somewhat interesting posts marked there. Like, for example, this is World Liberty Financial Portfolio, as you see, posted by Quinten. And it's very interesting because I don't know if you remember, but USDT, as far as I remember, is not allowed in the United States by exchanges. I don't think there is many exchanges allowed to trade USDT in US. Most of them trade USDC, yet as you see, for example, Paulo Arduino was not invited to the dinner with Donald Trump, where there was most prominent people from the crypto industry invited. Paulo Arduino, so the CEO, founder of Tether, was not invited there. Yet, as you see, World Liberty Financial holds a huge chunk of their portfolio in USDT, right? That is why I say if you hold any stable coins, it should be USDT. Why? Because those guys are the most proven ones. They've been attacked on multiple occasions. They tried to short them heavily. They always stood their ground. They are still here, still unwanted by many, and still holding strong. So, to me that speaks volumes. I don't need any more evidence for who should I trust. And Ethereum much more invested into Ethereum than into Bitcoin, as you see. And the Bitcoin they have is actually wrapped Bitcoin. It's not a real Bitcoin. White, I have no idea what white is. Mantle, neither. Tron, of course, I know what Tron is. Oh, but Ethereum is wrapped Ethereum too. Okay. So it's wrapped Bitcoin, wrapped Ethereum, Tron, USDT, and USDC, and some minor investments aside from that. Very interesting. This one is mainly interesting to myself because of how huge the Tether allocation is there. Alfini wanted to add more privacy features to Bitcoin. What happened to the BTC community? Do you think he'd be proud of what it has become? Yeah, Halfini probably was Satoshi Nakamoto, in my opinion. He wanted to add more anonymity to Bitcoin. At that time, 2009, Bitcoin had much less anonymity than it has now, and right now it's much better. But it's still pseudonymous, not anonymous. So yeah, right now if you want anonymity, I think the only choice you have is Monero and nothing else. I don't think you should trust any other privacy coins. Reiki, Michael Saylor just hinted at another big Bitcoin buy on Monday. Yeah, so I'm not sure if he bought Bitcoin today or not. Maybe we'll see it on my timeline that he did. He has bought it. This the Monero ecosystem is growing. I'll have to look into it because I have not followed Monero community for a considerable amount of time, and I don't really know what has changed there. And since this is the only privacy coin you should trust, maybe highly likely I should update myself on what is going on in that space. Seriously, ETH, WTF, 5 weeks of indecision. I call it a consolidation, to be honest. I don't think this is a bad sign on Ethereum. I think this is a good sign. I think Ethereum is looking really, really good here. As you see, it is sitting on $2,435 level. It's not giving it up, even though it had a couple of occasions to do so. So in my eyes, this is very bullish. This is really, really bullish. I think Ethereum is going to give us at least one more leg up, same as the one it already has given. So another like plus 30, 40, 50% maybe. And then we will see how we will proceed from there. But again, I think it's going to be performing very well, at least until end of summer. I think until the end of summer we are in a protected period, thanks to US dollar printing. All of the eyes of retailers are going to turn our way once again. And yeah, highly likely as usual, they are going to give us that exit liquidity. They are going to come at the very end of the party, and I think we are going to see it very clearly here. And see, once we reach 100 or meme coin and meme coin search terms, it's going to be that time where it will be smart to start taking profits, even if in highly depreciating, aggressively depreciating US dollar. So yeah. Okay, let's go back to my X account. Well, this time let's go to my Michael Saylor, appointed official Bitcoin advisor to the government of Pakistan. Yeah, I don't know. What am I saying even? I know that Pakistan wants to go with strategic Bitcoin reserve recently. They want to give it a shot. Michael Saylor, I think, is the best guy to to ask for advice there, and that's good for the scene, of course. So indeed, Michael Saylor has bought Bitcoin today. 10,100 Bitcoin worth $1.08 billion. I think it was today. I mean, the Watcher Guru, he always, throws you posts like this without much detail. It's never about the hype, but I think it was that 10,000 just today. Nice. TikTok crypto trader held for 50,000 euro in crypto was released after kidnappers discovered his low account balance, according to Europe One. Oh my goodness. They thought he was having much more. Yeah, that's why you must be very careful when you show your face in social media. You present yourself as crypto influencer. That is why me myself I do not show my real face, because that would be very dangerous to me and my family. What the hell is this? People who have Bitcoin at 15K in 2022. This is very unhealthy. Like there's zero benefit of something like this. Zero. Never agree to be this guy on the left. Eventually, for fun, you can pick side and choose the one on the right. Breaking billionaire Michael Saylor appointed official. Okay, this one we already have seen. The sky just got crashed tankers. Yeah, so they're flying there. They're flying to that one plane on the globe. We all know which one is it. Meta jumped 3% pre-market as WhatsApp monetizes updates tab with ads, promoted channels, and subscriptions. Okay. So big changes coming. Let them. That will be that will be a game changer. Brazil just introduced a bill to eliminate capital gains tax on Bitcoin. This is massive. Okay, that is indeed massive. Just in Trump Media and Technology Group has filed to create a Bitcoin and Ethereum ETF. Another ETF? Justin Sun's thrown to go public in US via reverse merger with Nasdaq listed SRM Entertainment as SEC poses fraud probe. The deal, backed by Trump-linked investment bank, will form Tron Inc., with Eric Trump expected to take a role. All right. So Eric Trump gets more and more involved into the crypto space. President Trump's Truth Social files for Bitcoin and Ethereum ETF. Okay, we've seen that one. You got lucky, the luck. The guy is staring at the chart. if if you don't have a trading system and you have a strategy and you don't have trading system, you're wasting your time. If you have a strategy, you should hire a programmer to program it, to encode it, and then let it trade for you. You should not be trading manually. I'm a programmer, so I could encode it myself, and I don't have to stare at charts. I still like to stare at charts, but I don't have to. I don't have to sweat it. Break this one is again the same. This is literally the same news. All right, guys. Allow me to wrap it up then. You know, the upward track, that what counts the most. And remember what I said for the upcoming future. I think that this is the time for you to collect, the scoop up a little bit of more of those coins that you hold dear um, in your heart. I think you should add to those, of course, Hitech as well, my meme coin, because I will keep grinding this one into a huge success. My social media are still very small, still have a huge room for growth. So that's why you're very, very early with this category of investment. I think you should get yourself $1, $2, $3, even something small. It will still make sense in the grand scheme of time. So yeah, Ethereum is looking good too. So thank you guys for your time. I'll see you sometime soon. Cheers.